All right, question from 717. We talked about the difference between David and Saul. Saul is a very naturally gifted individual. He's tall, he's handsome. He apparently is useful at a lot of things, or gifted at, can do a lot of things. And so he has some talent. And then you have David, who is a boy, but apparently has learned to trust in God for all kinds of things, including how to deal with danger and protect sheep. Those lessons would come into play as he dealt with the nation of Israel, where leaders should be like shepherds for sheep, and so watch over them and care for them. And so David apparently had some gifting from God. And so the question is essentially this: what are the differences between gifts and talents? And should we assume that talents are ours or they come from God? I would say this: is talent is the natural human abilities that are genetically granted towards an individual. They are naturally, you've heard this person's naturally inclined toward music. You hear that someone's naturally inclined towards mathematics, or someone's naturally inclined towards athletics. And then they may hone those talents, but if they don't use them to glorify God, they're just taking the inherent abilities that came genetically to them and honed them in the environment of human ability, and then simply are showing that these naturally inclined things that, again, really come from God, because God made us in his own image and gave us the person that we are, made us the person we are, that he made us more inclined towards music or less inclined towards music. But there's a difference between that and gifting. Gifting is by the work of the Holy Spirit to use what might be the natural bent of a person, say towards mathematics or say towards music, and take those natural bents, but use them by the power of God to minister to other people, to minister to the church as a whole, to take the gospel around the world. And so if someone is gifted in mathematics, that may mean they have some gifts about underlying issues with finances and organization, administration, and that person can take those talents and then they become gifts as the Spirit of God takes them and applies them in the world of ministry and missions. So you have a missionary organization that needs someone who's good at finances, and you have a person who's good at finances working in a secular job, and they become a believer, and then they really want to use these gifts. Now, again, even in a secular job, a believer can use talents under the power of God to minister to other people and to serve the church. But primarily the difference between talent and gifting is talent is the natural bent of an individual that is then honed through education and practice. Gifting is those talents, whether they've been honed or they're in the process of being honed or not. Gifting is using those natural abilities under the power of the Spirit of God to serve others. And that's why Paul says the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And that fruit is born while a person then uses the gifting of the Spirit, preaching, teaching, leading, administrating, showing hospitality, evangelism, all of these kinds of gifts that the Bible mentions, serving, giving, all of these, that showing mercy, by the way, is another one. And all those gifts, those are these natural talents that are then, through the power of the Holy Spirit, then bear fruit. They're done in love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. As the person's administrating the work of God or in their life in general. And so that's the difference between the two. Talents then become the tool by which the Spirit of God takes our natural ability and turns them into gifting. I think that's the distinction I would make between talent and gift. Not that talents are bad, and they do come from God. It's just they're unspiritual by nature because they are purely a physical manifestation of our genetic code, as it were, that God made, the way God made us. Gifting is by the power of the Spirit using those talents for the glory of God. I hope that helps. Great question. All right, we'll see you guys at 7:17.